Hello, my friends, and welcome back for Chapter 7 of The Littles Go to School. Today is a nice short chapter for our Friday. So much happened in Chapter 6, right? So Tom and Lucy were inside of the gerbil cage. It was brought to Henry Bigg's school. They found out they're going to be stuck there for a week. Bless you. Thanks. Their family have no idea that they're missing. And Tom released a bunch of gerbils at the end of the chapter so that they could go and
Excuse me, Mom.
Yes.
They're lost.
Tom and Lucy?
Yeah.
They are lost, you're right.
And they don't know which way the home is.
That's right. They don't know which way their home is. That's what they're trying to figure out. So they released the gerbils, and then Tom and Lucy ran into the secret passageway to hopefully find their teacher, Miss Gog.
Like this. Like that. They just walked.
No, they ran
Oh, how?
really fast.
Okay.
Yes, exactly like that. Good job.
Just like I'm Flash.
Yes, you are like Flash. So, we have a new guest reader for today. Let's see, what hints can I give you about today's guest reader? I once photoshopped his head onto a bunch of different people who were doing polar plunges when we were raising money to do the polar plunge last year. He is the big boss at our school, and I typically poke fun at the guest readers, but I don't want to do anything to get on his bad side because he's my boss and I don't want to get fired. So we'll just leave it at that. You'll see who he is in just a moment. Let's get started. Chapter 7. It was 12 noon at the Littles. Time for lunch. Mrs. Little was serving warmed up leftovers from breakfast. I was hoping to get us some nice leftover potato salad, she said, but Mrs. Big has been out all morning. So we'll eat leftover oatmeal, said Granny Little. I like it better than potato salad anyway. Ollie? Sorry. Oomph, said Uncle Pete. Oatmeal always reminds me of library paste. You know, that gooey stuff they use at school. I like it, said Grandpa Little. Oatmeal always hits the spot. Don't smack your lips, Amos, said Granny Little. You'll set a bad example for the children. Where are the children, said Uncle Pete, looking around. They're usually the first in line for a meal. Grandpa Little ate and talked at the same time. They'd been spending every morning in Henry's room, gulp, studying his gerbils. They should be back by now, said Mrs. Little, looking worried. Tom and Lucy are probably on the roof with their father and Uncle Nick, said Uncle Pete. But just then, Mr. Little and Uncle Nick came in, alone. Will, said Mrs. Little to her husband, where are Tom and Lucy? I don't know, said Mr. Little. I haven't seen them for hours. Oh, my heavens, Mrs. Little said. The gerbils have attacked them. Mr. and Mrs. Little, Uncle Pete, and... Take it away, Mr. Tebow.
Hi, PALS program. I miss you all. I hope that you're all staying healthy and well. And I just want to thank Mrs. KP and all of the PALS staff for inviting me to read with you all today. Hope you're enjoying your book here. And here goes my part. Uncle Nick raced through the wall passageways to Henry's room. The gerbil's cage was gone. No one could speak for a moment. Mrs. Little tried not to scream. Hold it! I remember something, said Mr. Little. Earlier, when I was on the roof picking up the mail, Mrs. Big was taking something to the car. It could have been the gerbil's cage. Yes, the more I think about it, it could have been the gerbil's cage. Hope you guys are enjoying your book. Hope you're staying healthy and well. Know that we miss you, and we can't wait to see you again. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tebow. Maybe the kids got caught in the cage, said Uncle Pete, with no time to escape, Uncle Nick said. Mrs. Little said, oh dear, where'd she go with them? That's the question, Uncle Pete said. Maybe she took them to the veterinarian, said Mr. Little. At the animal hospital. We'll just have to wait until Mrs. Big gets back. Tom and Lucy will stay hidden somehow, said Uncle Pete to Mrs. Little. They're smart children, said Uncle Nick, nodding his head. They'll never show themselves. But when Mrs. Big returned, she didn't have the cage with her. There's still hope, said Mr. Little. We'll get hold of Cousin Dinky. He and Della will be able to fly to the animal hospital and rescue them. He started for the roof. Mrs. Little was crying. So they are worried sick over where Tom and Lucy went. And they still have no idea that they've gone to Henry's school. So, my question for you is, what do you think is going to happen when Cousin Dinky and Mr. Little arrive at the animal hospital in hopes of finding Tom and Lucy? We know they're not going to be there. What do you think Mr. Little and Cousin Dinky will do when they realize that the children are not there? Let me know in the comments on our Google Classroom. Mr. Tebow, thanks so much again for joining us for today's chapter. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you on Monday for Chapter 8. See you later.